All right. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the emergency session of school board meeting Wednesday, February 17th, 2021 to order. Madam Clerk, the roll.
Mr. Moretz?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Linden is not present. Mr. Greenway is not present. Mr. Ray?
Here.
Mr. Butzer?
Here. And having a legal quorum, I'd like to open the meeting, and we have an action item to consider. I want to give you a little context here before we do. The school board voted unanimously last week to allow schools and school division staff to resume normal making following VHS rules and safety protocols and play just within the county. So that's what the board decided last week, that we would only allow these games within the county. Today's decision would, if approved, will reverse that and remove that restriction. So with that, I'd like to make the following motion. I move that schools be permitted to schedule games within their respective athletic districts, as well as schedule other games inside or outside Roanoke County as needed to fill their schedule. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Comments?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
You mind? Similar to our decision to allow winter sports, the opportunity to compete with an in-county schedule. My vote last week was based on the thought that Roanoke County would have more control in making sure COVID health protocols were being followed, which would reduce community spread. So, over the last week, as with any decision, there are unintended consequences. We've now learned there's a high likelihood that Roanoke County teams would be prevented advancement to postseason play and state competitions by other schools in their respective districts and regions. This week, the River Ridge District, which includes Cave Spring and Hidden Valley, voted not to allow our schools to advance in the event we held to an all-county schedule. The thought of denying our student athletes, especially our seniors, the opportunity to pursue a championship or participate in postseason play was, one of the deciding factors in why I'm changing my mind in voting for a district competition schedule. So, we have fantastic staff, and I trust that everyone involved, from coaches to athletes to principals and ADs, will strictly follow health and safety protocols as outlined by the VHSL. And the bottom line, I think at this point, it's the right thing to do. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Mr. Ray?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Why did we call an emergency meeting? Because we have a deadline. We found out we have a deadline of tomorrow at noon. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dr. Stahl. To let the district know and whether or not we were going to be participating. So, that's the reason that, and the season actually starts Monday. So, that's the reason that we called an emergency meeting so that we could take action on this item. Initially I voted without fully understanding some of the consequences. The feedback from the parents, students certainly made me fully aware of the impact the decision had on students, which would be denied a chance to compete at the state level, especially after everything that has been taken away from them. The opinion offered by Dr. Stahl on the possibility that the only season that would possibly be denied postseason play would be the fall sports, and that spring and winter would be able to play, and I just don't think that's fair. So that's the reason I'm changing my vote as well, and we'll be supporting this action.
Right. Thank you. We do have a second. Madam Clerk, the roll. The vote.
Mr. Moretz?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Ray?
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Butzer?
Yes, ma'am. Meeting adjourned.
That's quicker than I thought.